Caitlin Clark embarrassed the super team. Caitlin Clark's return from her 2-week injury wasn't just a comeback, it was a complete beatdown on the top dogs in the league. And the way Caitlin produced in this game felt like she came back even better than ever. Take a look at the way she drained 3 3-pointers in only 33 seconds.
And Cunningham is down behind the play.
First, with a shot 33 feet from the basket, making it look like a warm-up right on the next possession. Caitlin walks in and wastes no time again with a 27-footer, but she's not done yet.
Clark, another long three.
Now, with Maureen Johannes on her and then getting tangled up, Caitlin takes the open window and drains a 31-foot shot, tying the game and taking the Fever on a 9-3 run in those 33 seconds, leaving the Liberty looking like they'd seen a ghost. Caitlin went off this game dropping 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds while shooting 11 for 20 from the field and 7 for 14 from 3, while the team as a whole hit 17 3-pointers and hit 100 points in a game for the first time this season. Even LeBron James felt the weight of Caitlin Clark's performance, and he wasn't alone on that either. After Caitlin drained her 5th 3-pointer, you could tell this was a tough shot right over Brianna Stewart with the step back.
And then steps back with the 3 over with one another.
Caitlin and Stewie had a laugh knowing that shot just turned up the heat. But overall, Caitlin did exactly that right in the first half alone, dominating with 25 points, 6 3-pointers, and 9 field goals. You could tell that Caitlin was eager to get the Fever back on track after an uneven start to the season. Oh, and by the way, those 32 points Caitlin put up happened in just the first 3 quarters.
Who's the first? This one? Caitlin Clark! Clark looking for some options. Hull spots up for 3 and hits it.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse went crazy with a sellout crowd of 17,274 fans on their feet. The Liberty, for the first time all season, looked stunned. This game was turning into an absolute takeover, but those numbers don't tell you how she made the defending champions look like they were playing their first game together. It was supposed to be just another chapter in the New York Liberty's seemingly unstoppable season. Meanwhile, the Fever, sitting at 4-5 prior to this game, came in with their superstar Caitlin having spent the last 19 days sidelined with a quad injury. To be honest, no one could have predicted what would happen next. The Liberty were undefeated. On paper, it was fairly clear who would win. They were playing basketball at a level that seemed almost unfair to the rest of the league.
Hand off to Cloud. Cloud penetrating. Oh, the seas part! Easy layup. Burke off the steal. Burke able to pizza pie it in with the left hand. Sherrod gets it to go, and she's
averaging over 90.2 points per game, leading the league in scoring, and holding opponents to just 71.4 points per game, which is also the best in the league defensively. Sports analysts were already penciling them in as not just playoff contenders, but as the team most likely to repeat as champions. Even the New York Post had declared them the best team in WNBA history after their 9-0 start. Look at the setup. You got Sabrina Ionescu being one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, and Kennedy Burke, who currently leads the league in 3-point percentage at 57.6. Then you have Brianna Stewart, who is now a 3-time WNBA champion, MVP, and Finals MVP. Jonquel Jones, who is also the 2021 MVP and an elite 2-way big. Courtney Vandersloot, who is one of the best passers in league history. A 4-time All-Star and 2021 WNBA champion. This team is stacked. But now, this was a team that had dominated the league, suddenly looking vulnerable. Because when Caitlin stepped on the scene, she switched up the momentum halfway through the second, and by the third quarter, took over with the Fever going on a 19-0 run and orchestrated the biggest upset this season so far. Talking about coming back with a bang. And if anything, we all got a reminder of just how much one player can change everything. But this was revenge. We know how the Fever lost to the Liberty by just 1 possession. It was 2 days after that Caitlin's injury was announced. So her last game was against New York, and then her next game would be against New York again. But between that time, ticket prices for Fever games had plummeted by over 70%, dropping from an average of $137 to just $80. Viewership for WNBA games without Caitlin had dropped by more than 60%. The economic impact was staggering. Experts estimated that Caitlin's presence was worth nearly $1 billion to the WNBA ecosystem, and her absence proved those projections weren't an exaggeration. Even Caitlin's playmaking reminded us of what we were missing.
Last 3 games, she had made 7 in a row over her last 2.
Right off the top, Caitlin already walks into a double team with Niara Sabally and Natasha Cloud. But notice when she drives right, Brianna Stewart is supposed to be covering Kelsey Mitchell in the corner, but falls for the bait, while Caitlin threads the needle through everyone for Kelsey to make the easy layup. But you know, aside from making those cutting passes, Caitlin's ability to see ahead on the court is next level. Take in this next play.
Opponents miss for Ionescu, and you get with Clark is great pace and great passes.
Caitlin grabs the rebound, and just before reaching half, she sees an opening for Aaliyah Boston, and well, the rest is history. But what else does she got in the bag? Aside from the playmaking, her handles give defenders a headache.
Caitlin Clark last played for Indiana against New York.
On this play, she walks in to square up against Rebecca Gardner and then just puts her through a blender. To be honest, the narrative was quite clear. With Caitlin out, Indiana looked lost. With her back, everything changed. Just 5 days earlier, they had suffered their worst loss of the season, falling to the Atlanta Dream. But when Caitlin came back, from the opening tip, Caitlin's presence was transformative. Teammates who had struggled to find open looks suddenly found themselves wide open as New York's defenses collapsed. Remember how we said New York held their opponents to just 71.4 points per game, giving them the #1 defensive rating? I think that got to their head, because coming into this game, they probably thought, hey, we beat them before, we're the defending champions on a 9-0 run, and this team is under 500. We got this. But little did they know, playing without Jonquel Jones, New York really looked out of place. They gave up 53 points in the first half, the most they've allowed all season. Indiana shot 40% from 3 in every quarter. I mean, it was clear that Liberty tried everything, like switching defenders on Caitlin, throwing different schemes, but this time they just couldn't cut it because the real damage came from unexpected places. Look at the way other teammates performed with Caitlin. Kelsey Mitchell put up 22 points and kept getting into the paint with ease. Lexi Hull added 14 points and 3 triples for a 75 3-point percentage. The Liberty even gave up wide open looks to bench players like Sydney Colson and Damiris Dantas. Caitlin's energy helped disrupt Liberty's flow and set the tone for a hungry Fever squad. The Liberty, so accustomed to imposing their will, found themselves reacting, overhelping, scrambling, searching for answers that weren't there. When they switched, she attacked mismatches. When they doubled, she found open teammates with passes. This wasn't lucky shooting. Indiana shot 48.1 from the field while New York shot 42.3. On top of that, Indiana doubled their 3-point percentage over New York. This was more like a team that felt they should have won their first matchup and got robbed, so they came back to take what was theirs. Caitlin's 32 points will dominate the headlines, but make no mistake, it was Indiana's entire team support that quietly torched the Liberty and stole this one. We know the New York Liberty are the championship favorites this year, but could the Fever join the conversation? The script has been flipped, and even though it's only been one game, the statement has been made. Caitlin Clark isn't just back, she's better than ever.